people, whenever there is any correction or something, they go back to 2008 and compare the Dubai market. There are a lot of factors which you need to understand is different from that time to today. Hi guys, this is Tahir Majithia with you. I'm a real estate consultant. Well, now today I wanted to discuss something which is currently the entire world is going through a pandemic, which is the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, which unfortunately the entire world is facing. Now, of lately, I've got a lot of my investors asking me again and again, Tahir, what's going to happen with the markets, where it's going. So I thought, let me just discuss the effects of COVID-19 on the Dubai real estate markets especially. Now, the first and the most important concern, which is, will the markets crash? How much will they crash by? Well, guys, listen, this is something which is very difficult to say, that how much will the markets crash by? Will they really go down or what? But before explaining that, let me explain you a situation where the Dubai market stood before this pandemic happened. With regards to the Dubai real estate market, since the last 5 to 6 years, the Dubai market has been going in a decline. So it's basically since 2014 mid, you can say, the markets are in a decline. Now, the last 5-6 years, the markets have corrected almost 40 to 50%. It depends on area to area and which property we're talking about. But there's been a lot of correction in the market. So if you see the other markets which are crashing now, for example, when you take the stock markets or the Dow Jones, the Nifty or other stock markets, they were at their peak and they are crashing today. But the Dubai real estate market is not at its peak today, that we look at it crashing by 40-50% due to this pandemic. So if you ask me personally, I don't see a major correction happening in the market. Yes, maybe could be some properties which are not much in demand, or not the good properties might see a little more reduction in value. But overall, I don't see a massive correction in the prices, because the prices have already corrected. So, guys, this is something which you need to understand and keep in mind, that the markets were already correcting and a lot of correction has already happened in the last 5 to 6 years. So, taking that into consideration, it doesn't look like it's going to go really bad. Currently also, as we speak, there is a lot of resistance in the market, not too many people wanting to sell at lesser prices. So that's a good sign for the long term. Secondly, the banks over here, the government and the UAE Central Bank was very quick in giving a stimulus of 126 billion dirhams, which is equivalent to almost $34 billion. So a stimulus of $34 billion was injected into the economy just to make sure that, the markets don't crash, there's enough liquidity. So that is again one thing which is holding the markets and not letting the markets go down what people are expecting. In this stimulus, something which is really nice, which happened for the first time home buyers, was the LTV. The loan to value ratio went up to 80%, which was previously 75%. So if you're a first time home buyer, you can now get mortgage of up to 80% straight. So that was a good thing. Plus also what has happened is people who are already on, who've taken mortgages, who have loans already, the banks gave them a relief of making their payments little delayed, and that too interest free. So in the stimulus, this also happened. So overall, if you see in the Dubai market, the pressure on people, the government was really effective, and they made sure that there was not much pressure on the people when it comes to regards to payments and all. Because what happens when there's too much pressure, that is the time people come out in distress, want to sell properties at a lesser price, cheaper price, and so forth and so on. That is something which is really good, which has happened. Plus, guys, you also need to understand, people, whenever there is any correction or something, they go back to 2008 and compare the Dubai market back to 2008, saying, oh, in 2008 this happened, that happened and all. There are a lot of factors which you need to understand is different from that time to today. In 2008, the market was not regulated. There were a lot of speculators, and in 2008 the market was at the peak, and that's the reason it crashed. Today, if you see, as we speak, the market is not at its peak. The market is not, you don't see speculators in today's market. There are a lot of long-term investors. Plus, at the same time, the market is regulated and far more matured than what it was in 2008. So these are the reasons why I feel the markets will, yes, there could be some correction because it's a global pandemic, and globally economies and countries are affected with this. So that could happen. But if you ask me that if it's going to be a major crash into the market, I don't see that happening in the Dubai real estate market currently. So these are my thoughts on the main concern, that what would the markets crash by and what will happen.